here, bringing us live something TV. I'm your host, The Pipings, and today we're looking at the Game Awards 2017. Now, on my, I guess technically it's on my left, that way, that one, right there is the list of my predictions. You can see my terrible handwriting. Uh, it's not that bad. But you can see my handwriting and everything. Let's see. You can see what I guessed, and you can see what actually. Yeah, you can see everything that I guessed. And we're gonna take a look at see what actually won. Um, so, let me go find. I'm gonna go find the Game Awards. But first, let me tweet this out. Game Awards 2017. Hashtag Game Panda. Hashtag Twitch Kittens. Okay. Hang on. Okay. And we're good. So, anyways, over here you can see the list of my predictions, and now we're going to take a look at the actual Game Awards and see exactly what won. There's the list. So, on the page, it has all what won. So, let's take a look, and let's count every time I get it right. So actually, I think I want to do counter. So, I wonder if there's a way I can set it to the counter. Hotkeys, counter, shift, add, and shift. Okay, so if I do, okay, I see it. Okay. So now all I have to do is put this in a corner. Or not, you know. Okay. So I'll just put it here. I can make this smaller, I think. Can go put this way. Okay. And we want to do add think add browser source, I think. No, not browser source. Go away. And window capture. Okay. Ongbot. Oh, yeah, that. Okay, and now I need to filter, add crop. Okay. We're getting there now. We're getting there now. We're getting there now. We're getting out this hole. Okay. Okay, and add color key. Okay. Custom color, select color, pick screen color. We want this one. Okay. So that should make it invisible now, like a green screen almost. So now I can make this bigger. Okay. And I can actually turn this so that it is green. And I can change the font so that it's impact. It's not do it. I'm telling you, it's do. I don't even know what that is. Okay. Maybe not impact. Let's do. Let's do. No, not that one. We'll just do. Trying to find a good font. We can just do. We could just do Arial. Why not? Yeah, we'll just do Arial. Okay. So now we have to look. So Let's keep track of how many I got right. So, for Game of the Year, I predicted The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And there you have it. The winner of the Game of the Year 2017 was indeed The Legend of Zelda. So that will be one for me. Okay. So that's one. Game direction. I actually said for game direction, I said Super Mario. But that was not the case. Legend of Zelda won the game direction. Best narrative, I had said Wolfenstein 2. But that was not the case. It was actually What Remains of Edith Finch. So that doesn't count. Best art direction, I said Cuphead would win. And Cuphead did win. So, yay. That's another one for me. Best score / music. Now this one actually kind of surprised me. I said Legend of Zelda would win this. But it was actually Automata. Okay. Best audio design, I said... For audio design, I said Resident Evil 7. But again, that was not the case. It was actually Hellblade that won. Best performance, I said Ashley Birch would win. But that was not the case because Melina Jurgens from Hellblade won instead. Games for Impact, I said Life is Strange Before the Storm, but Hellblade actually won that. Best ongoing game, I said PUBG, but that was not the case. It was actually Overwatch that won that one, which I probably should have guessed actually, considering that PUBG actually hasn't been out that long, and Overwatch is an esports game, so it has more of a fan base. It has more of a foundation to work with. People aren't going to vote for PUBG because it's too early to tell. It's way too early to tell. Destiny 2 is good, but it didn't really have that good of a launch. I don't remember that. Warframe is good, but it doesn't have a big enough fan base for it to win. Rainbow Six Siege, I don't know. I don't know. Like, Overwatch is the only esports game on there, so it's more likely to win anyways. So I probably should have guessed that one. A mobile game, I said Super Mario Run, but it was actually Monument Valley. Nah, I don't really play any of these games, so I didn't really know, so I guessed. For best handheld game, I said Metroid would win, and Metroid did win. So I get a point for that. Best VR. Actually surprised me. Well, actually, that probably shouldn't have been as surprising. I said Star Trek Bridge Crew, but it was actually Resident Evil 7, which is well deserved. Best action game, I said Wolfenstein 2, and Wolfenstein 2 won. So, that's another for me. A lot of people were saying Cuphead would win, but it's not an action game. It's not the right category for Cuphead, I don't think. Best action / adventure game. I said Horizon Zero Dawn. But for some reason, it seems like Horizon Zero Dawn didn't actually get the amount of attention that I thought it did. It was actually The Legend of Zelda that won that one. In fact, Horizon Zero Dawn, if you really think about it, didn't really win much. actually didn't win at all. Same as Super Mario Odyssey. It won one award, I think. Role-playing game. Best role-playing game, I said Final Fantasy. But I'm surprised because actually Persona 5 is more popular than Final Fantasy. I thought Final Fantasy was actually a pretty popular franchise, but no. It was actually Persona 5 that won this time. Best fighting game, of course, I said Injustice 2. And of course, it was Injustice 2. So, there's another point for me. What else was gonna win? Maybe Marvel vs. Capcom, but it wasn't that good. For best family game, I said Mario Kart 8. But it was actually Super Mario Odyssey. Which makes sense. I just didn't think it was that much of something you could play with a family. That's what I was thinking more. But, oh well. Best strategy game, I said Halo Wars 2. But, it was actually... Wait a second, did I just add... Oh crap. No, I think I added a point that I should. Hang on, I have to go back and count. I can't trust myself. Wait, so that's 1, 2, no, not 2. 1, no, 2, no, 3, no, 4, no, 5, no, 6, no, okay, yeah. Okay, so best strategy game is actually Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. No, I never actually played it. I probably should have guessed that it was going to win, but I actually guessed Halo Wars 2, so that is not my point. For best sports/racing game, I said Forza Motorsport 7, but it was actually and it was for Forza Motorsport 7. The other games, FIFA, it was honestly between Forza and FIFA. It would never ever be Konami. It would never be Konami. It would never have been Konami. And GT Sport, if a car game is going to win, it's going to be Forza most of the time. So that's another point for me. Best multiplayer, I said PUBG, and PUBG won. Another one for the taking. We're at 8 now. 8 correct games guessed. Now, this one was actually tricky. Most anticipated game. I did say it was going to be between The Last of Us Part 2 and Red Dead Redemption, but I went with Red Dead Redemption 2 and Last of Us Part 2 won. So technically, I was kind of right, but I got it wrong. So, that does not count. Best independent game, I said Cuphead, and Cuphead won. Whoa. So there you go. I got another one. Best city game, I completely guessed. I said Falling Sky because it looked the best. But it was actually Level Squared that won. Trending gamer. I said Dr. Disrespect, and of course, Dr. Disrespect won. So that's another point for me. Best esports game. I said League of Legends, but Overwatch won, so I guess it's still fresh in everyone's mind, so it's probably more likely to win. I think I actually voted for Rocket League though. Now that I remember. Yeah. I voted for Rocket League, even though I guessed League of Legends would win. This one was another guess. I guessed Faker for best esports player, and he actually won. That's a complete guess, but that's another point for me. Again, esports team, I completely guessed. I said FaZe Clan, but it was actually Cloud9. So, yeah, there you go. Best debut indie game, I guessed Hollow Knight. I probably should have went for Cuphead again because it is the bigger name. But I was kind of hoping that Hollow Knight or something else would win, because I know that Cuphead kind of only won because it was bigger than all of them. Because they had help from Microsoft, there was better advertising for it. Whereas a lot of the other games are stuck, trying to advertise on their own, and they don't get as much attention as other games are. And best Chinese game, I guessed JX3 HD. And guess what won? JX3 HD. Wow, that was a lucky guess, but that's another point for me. That failed. Okay. And that's all of them. So, let's see. Out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Out of 29 categories, I guessed 12 winners correctly, which is actually pretty impressive. It's not a passing grade, unless there's a bit of like a curve. Divided by 29. Yeah, that's 41%. But that was actually a very good year for me. Last year I got like none right, but this year I seem to be able to. I'm starting to get the idea of what type of games win, and it is kind of the bigger name. Whoever has the bigger name. So yeah, I guessed 12 names correctly. 12 of them. So let's talk about those awards anyways. Okay, now that we know what won. So out of the Game of the Year, do I actually think the Game of the Year, Legend of Zelda, deserves the Game of the Year? I actually haven't played a lot of games that were released in 2017. Honestly, the only game that I really played that was actually like released in 2017 was Injustice 2. Like, now that I think about it, I really didn't play anything that was released in 2017. I played Skyrim, I played Fallout 4, I played Red Dead Redemption, I played, I guess there was Life is Strange and Life is Strange Before the Storm, but that doesn't really count. Like, I actually haven't played a whole lot of 2017 games, and I don't know what, because I like Injustice 2, but I don't think it's good enough to be a Game of the Year. Now, out of these games that were nominated, I definitely think that it was between Legend of Zelda, Horizon Zero Dawn, and Super Mario. The thing is, though, is that Horizon Zero Dawn was released way too early. In the sense that it was too early for it to win. because while it was popular for that time period, it really didn't actually last that long. It was like popular for like a month and then it died. Whereas Legend of Zelda and Super Mario have the advantage of being a big franchise. Everybody knows and loves Zelda and Mario. They're the two biggest names. And it really came down to which one had a bigger following, which one had a bigger fan base. And obviously it was Zelda. And honestly, Super Mario Odyssey looks like a good game, but it was also kind of released a little bit late, I think. Let me see, when was Breath of the Wild released anyways? Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild release date. It was March 3rd, right? And then Super Mario Odyssey was actually really recent, which is honestly surprising that Nintendo did that. Yeah, it's October. So, in all honesty, though, Super Mario Odyssey didn't. I don't think it did as well as Nintendo intended it to. See, it did well in the sense that it's a Mario game. A lot of people played it. It was pretty popular, but compared to other Mario games, this one's so different that, and like Mario games in general, like they're good games. I enjoy them. I enjoy Mario Kart. I enjoy Super Mario and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, Mario games aren't really Game of the Year worthy. Um, like Legend of Zelda is backed with a lot of story and a lot of depth. And a lot of Mario games are kind of, I don't know if I want to say repetitive, but there's that one style of game, and it's good for the fan base that likes it, but it's not. I don't think it's enough for it to win a Game of the Year. Especially when it's competing against games that are like, Legend of Zelda and Horizon Zero Dawn and Persona 5. I didn't actually see a lot of Persona 5, so I don't really know how good of the game it was. I've heard a lot of good things about it. And Mario does have a big name, which gives it an advantage. But honestly, I don't think Odyssey is Game of the Year material. And I'm actually curious as to how close the votes were, because I'm curious to see how well Mario did. Because the fact that it only won one category is actually pretty sad. Because it's a Game of the Year category, but it didn't really win anything. Like it won Family Game, and that's it. And I don't really know the history of other Mario games because I can't really recall any of them. Because Game Awards weren't really a thing when the Mario games were really popular. Like Game Awards didn't really start happening till like what, 2010? No, it's sooner than that. 2005 maybe. I mean, I guess there were other versions of the Game Awards, so I guess there's that. But the Game Awards. No, it was 2014. It was 2014 when the Game Awards started. The Game Awards, the VGAs. It started with 2014 Dragon Age Inquisition won. Developer of the Year was Nintendo. Shovel Knight won Independent Game. Hearthstone won Best Mobile Game. Best Narrative was blah blah blah. Family Game is Mario Kart 8. Wait a second. Wait a second. Wait, what? Wait. I want to look at that game, the family game a second, for another second. Wait a second. Are there no family games that were released this year? Wait. I need to look at that game. I need to look at that category again. What? Oh, it's deluxe. Because, what? In 2014, Mario Kart 8 won. Best family game. And here it is again. What? What? Okay. What? That's crazy. Splatoon won best multiplayer in 2015. And it is a sequel. It's actually kind of interesting how 1, 2, 3, technically 4 games out of the 5 are Nintendo properties. Technically, I mean, one of them doesn't really count because it's Rayman Rabbids as well, so it's also Ubisoft. But still, what? Wait, so the Game Awards weren't really a thing. I think it's really the dice awards that have been the longest, correct? I think it's the dice awards that have been the longest. Yeah. Yeah, I guess it is rather young. Let me see if the Dice Game Awards. Yeah, and Dice is the one that's been happening the longest. Which, by the way, I'm wondering, where is Dice? What? Okay. Category winners, what? Oh, that's the last year's stuff, though. Yeah, but Dice is the one that has been the longest running. Okay. Todd Howard won Game Director. That's the Game Studios. Oh yeah, that already happened, didn't it? The Dice Awards. Huh. Okay. What about the Video Game Awards? Aren't there? Isn't there like another big award show? The Spike Awards show, isn't it? Like the Spike Awards? Because I know there's Dice, I know there's the Game Awards. There's like Spike, right? Spike Video Game Awards. Yeah. Those are the bigger ones. Oh wait, did they end? Oh, they ended. I get it. Okay. They're the same thing. They're all the same thing. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Anyways, back to this. So, like I said though, Mario is a good game. Don't get me wrong. Mario Odyssey is a good game, but I think if it were to win Game of the Year, I would have a kind of a small problem. There's something about Mario games that just aren't normally Game of the Year worthy to me. Like, they're good games, but not for the whole year. And maybe it's because of age. Maybe it's because they've been around longer, so they're kind of getting repetitive a little bit. I mean, you could argue that Zelda is also kind of getting repetitive, but the thing about Zelda is that it does bring new content, and it's a different style. It's not like the same stuff. Like when you buy a Mario game, you kind of know already what to expect. It's just another like platformer game. I mean, I remember all of those Mario games, and it also really depends on what type of Mario game you buy. This racing, Mario Kart, this fighting, Super Mario Bros. Brawl, whatever. Honestly, I've only ever played Mario on DS. I've only played Mario Kart on... And no, that's not true. I played Mario Baseball as well on Wii. But I haven't played Mario in a long time. And I feel like it's not big enough. It's big enough with little kids, but I feel like it's not big enough in the actual, like, gaming community for it to win Game of the Year. Like, the people who are voting are usually, like, teenagers to young adults to the people who are in the jury, so the journalists that are voting as well. Persona 5 is a good game as well, but I feel like it suffers because it's not a big name. It's not a name that everybody knows. And not everyone is a fan of the anime Japanese styled video games either. So there's also that makes it suffer a little bit. The fact that people don't necessarily like those type of games. I mean, it has its own type of fan base, but I don't think there's been a game made in that style that has been big enough and good enough to win Game of the Year quite yet. I mean, maybe there'll be a day where one of those games wins. But I feel like, more people are probably more likely to vote for Zelda than they are going to vote for Persona 5. And then again, Horizon Zero Dawn had the problem of being released too early. Way too early. It didn't have enough ground. Like, it was popular for a month or two, maybe, but then that was it. And Horizon Zero Dawn also suffers because it's an exclusive. Which is interesting because Zelda is also an exclusive. It's a Nintendo exclusive. And Horizon Zero Dawn is a PS4 exclusive. PUBG is like the only one. PUBG and Persona 5 are the only ones that are not exclusives. Which is actually quite interesting. Zelda is actually exclusive to the Switch, I believe. I don't think it's on the Wii. I could be wrong about that. I believe it's Switch only. If I remember correctly, it's only Switch. I think Mario is also Switch. So, yeah. But, again, the Horizon Zero Dawn suffers because it was only a PS4 game. It's a very, very small, compared to the people who are voting, it's a very small number of people who actually were able to play Horizon Zero Dawn. And that's what I feel like people should consider when they're playing, or when they're investing in exclusive games, having, like, Guerrilla Games having their game be exclusive to one platform, is that you have to realize that game isn't going to be played as much. And so it's probably not going to win you the awards that you want when the gamers are the ones who are voting for them. And you're only targeting one area of the gamers. The gaming community is a huge community. There's PC gamers, there's, Xbox gamers, there's PlayStation gamers, there's Nintendo gamers. It's a huge community. If you're targeting only one part of that, it's probably not going to get you the Game Awards that you want. And even then, uh, like people on Twitch can watch the gameplay, can see the game on Twitch, but it's still not there's not a whole lot of people who are watching Horizon Zero Dawn who are going to watch a game that they don't play. There's not a whole lot of people. Normally, you watch games that you played because you want to see how other streamers feel about it, and there's only so much you can get from watching another streamer play a game, right? So honestly, Horizon Zero Dawn suffered because it couldn't reach a big enough fan base. It was so exclusive that it actually hurt itself for being exclusive. Like, as much as I'm sure the Sony deal was great, it actually probably hurt it in the long run. Because Nintendo can be exclusive because it's so popular of a brand. Like, everybody knows Nintendo does its own thing. It's been known for a while. And people are kind of okay with Nintendo doing it because they're used to it. Like, Nintendo does its own thing. It always has done its own thing. And I really think Nintendo is kind of the only one that should be able to do that. Because Nintendo is a very different platform. They make different platforms that aren't like the Xbox and the PlayStation. So it's understandable why that games on the Switch and the Wii would be exclusive to that platform, because it's harder to port games to different platforms. Whereas for PS4 and Xbox, it's pretty much the same thing. And really, only making it exclusive only hurts the developer. I mean, sure, the publisher, Sony, they benefit from that. Yeah, they benefit from having it only on their platform. But at the same time, it hurts the developers because they're not reaching to the same the numbers that the other ones are. And Nintendo is actually... And also Zelda is just a big name in general. Like, what are you going to buy? Zelda or Horizon Zero Dawn? A game that you probably have never heard of until recently. And Zelda has a bigger fan base. It has more trust, too. Like, if I were to invest in a console, just one platform, invest in one platform, and I saw an advertisement like, hey, if you buy a Wii or a Nintendo Switch, you get Zelda. If you buy a PlayStation 4, you get this random game called Horizon Zero Dawn. Which one am I gonna go with? The Zelda, because it's a bigger name. Like, I know that game's gonna be good. I have no idea what the heck Horizon Zero Dawn is, so I'm probably not gonna invest in it as much. And that's the thing. Like, Zelda had a big benefit of just being big, and Odyssey has that problem of being just too old, and it was also released late too, in October. But yeah, I mean, so yeah, Zelda's definitely. I mean, there was like no competition there. I feel like. Now, best game direction awarded to a game studio for outstanding creative vision and innovation in the game direction and design. I mean, I was hoping Wolfenstein. I mainly voted for Wolfenstein 2 to hope that it would win a category. And again, Zelda just won because it had the bigger name. To be honest, again, it was kind of competing with the exact same games though. Like if it won one category, it was most likely going to win the next because it's competing with the same games. It's competing with Odyssey, Horizon Zero Dawn. There's two different games in the category. Yeah, Zelda's gonna win that one. No doubt about that one. Best narrative? Okay. This was again me just hoping that Wolfenstein would win one. Wait, hang on a second. No. Wait. What did I say for best? No. Sorry. Best game direction. I said Mario Odyssey would win. That was just me hoping that Odyssey would win one. I felt like even though Odyssey didn't have the material to win Game of the Year, and I kind of knew that going into it, I thought it would do a little bit better in the game direction because I figured people might compromise, but clearly not. You know, I was like, people might compromise. They say they'll give Zelda the Game of the Year and Mario the game direction, but no one compromised. Best narrative, I said Wolfenstein 2, hoping that was the one that I thought that Wolfenstein 2 might actually have a shot because it's a Nazi Germany German story, and that to me is a good narration. Now, What Remains of Edith Finch, I remember hearing about it and seeing it. I just don't remember it. So I couldn't really tell if it was going to win. Because I didn't remember it. I don't know if people were actually going to vote for it. And I think this actually shows you that smaller games can win big awards. Like, it's actually quite interesting to think about it. Like, just a lot of these games are indie developer games. And it's quite interesting how it normally was AAA games all the time. You know, AAA games this, AAA games that. But now, you know, indie games are being nominated right beside AAA games, and they're winning over them. And that, to me, is quite interesting. The fact that an indie game can win from competing against AAA games that are made by large studios like Nintendo, you know, Sega, Capcom, whatever. They're competing against big companies, and they're winning. And that, to me, is just amazing. Like, I feel like this year is the best year, and next year too. This time period is the best time to be an independent developer, to not be contracted to a publisher or a big developer. And I really do think it has to do with how AAA game studios are treating their games. Like, look at all the companies that make AAA games. EA, Bethesda, Softworks, Nintendo even, Sony. They're all in it for the money. They are all in it for the money. All they do is want to make money. Like, yeah, EA took back the loot boxes or whatever they're going to do, but they were still going to do it. And it's also not completely over. They want to re-implement those loot boxes in a better system or whatever. If only EA would just learn. But like all these companies are in it for the money, and it's really hurting the game community, the gaming community. It's hurting it. So now indie indie game developers can change all of it. This is the best time to be an indie game developer because you're not going to get another opportunity like this. Like I wouldn't be surprised if some indie game developing teams really got, up there because of this, and people are finally recognize they're also getting more of a recognition than they normally do. And I really hope that in the future Twitch works with indie developers to try and get their games more exposed. Because a lot of the problem with indie game developers is not their games. It's usually their advertisement. They don't have a publisher to get their name out there. They're doing this all by themselves, and it's really hard to advertise on YouTube and when you're a tiny name. But with the help of like Twitch, like making an indie game category, just a directory, not a community, but a directory for indie games. That is how indie gamers can finally be recognized for what they are. Because a lot of them are just too small. A lot of them can't get their name out there like Cuphead. Cuphead is an exception, I feel like, because it was kind of published by Microsoft. Like, it was made by an indie game developer, but then it was like distributed by Microsoft, which actually helps them because it's a bigger name. It gets their name out there. Like, people are going to see, oh, there's Microsoft. I know what Microsoft is. Oh, what's this game? It's bigger, it's easier to advertise off of that. Like, hey, my game's from Microsoft. People are going to see that. My best art direction, I was kind of actually hesitant. Because at first I said, yeah, Cuphead, sure. But I was a little bit hesitant because, like, while I wanted Cuphead to win, I thought it would win, I was also thinking that maybe Zelda would win because it looks gorgeous. Zelda looks gorgeous. Like, it looks amazing. That's why I was, maybe I regretted something. But no, Cuphead won fair and square. And again, I think it was really, like, that also shows you that already two independent games won in major categories, in big category awards, which is amazing. Like, it's not just the independent game awards. It's best narrative, best art direction. All of these independent games are getting recognized, and that is a huge improvement. That is a huge step forward for the independent indie games community. That is amazing to me. Near Automata, I think that was the one music that I said I didn't like. I think. I don't remember actually. Let me actually replay that music again. Let's see here. Near Automata OST. Let's play it. Oh yeah, this one. It's also not the soundtrack though. So there's also that. Best audio design? Honestly, I never played Hellblade. Isn't Hellblade also an indie game developer? An indie game, though? I think it is, though. Hang on. Yeah, it is an independent game. Isn't it? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is an independent game. It's another one. It's the third game that won in another major category. Between like Destiny 2, Legend of Zelda, Odyssey, Resident Evil, all big titles, all big AAA game titles, and it won. That's surprising, actually. Because I thought it was going to be Resident Evil 7, because it actually has a big name, and it actually has good audio design, specifically. Best performance? I don't know. I didn't know who the heck Melina Jurgens is. But you can also see, like, this woman says she's not an actress, yet she's competing against 4 professional actors and actresses. She's competing against two characters from the same game. One actress who is a very big name, Ashley Birch, and Brian Bloom from Wolfenstein too. Again, an independent game developer winning in a major category against these 4 other, or technically 3 other big AAA games. Like, that's amazing. Like and then Hellblade also won again Games for Impact. Wow, I forgot how many times it actually won. Hellblade is actually doing really well. Another independent game, and even Games for Impact. Most of these titles are independent games. Hellblade's an independent game. Please Knock on My Door is an independent game. Night in the Woods is an independent game. What Remains of Edith Finch, I believe, it is an independent game. Yeah. Bury Me Alive, Bury Me My Love is also an independent game. It's competing against Life is Strange Before the Storm. I thought Before the Storm was gonna win because of its big name, because it's not an independent game and it has a big new brand name. But Hellblade won, yeah. It's just interesting. Overwatch, duh. Yeah. Okay. I'm glad it won over ongoing game. Yeah. Best mobile game? I don't know. I don't know what that is. Best handheld? Yeah, Metroid is gonna win hands down. I mean, oh, of course Metroid's gonna win. Best VR, Resident Evil 7. Honestly, that's not much of a surprise. I don't even know why I guess Star Trek Bridge Crew. Like, yeah, it's a big name, but Resident Evil 7 is a very popular VR game. I should probably went with that one. Best action game. I am surprised Wolfenstein 2 won. And I'm so happy that I guessed correctly. That was the first game that was announced, and I was so happy that I got it right. Because a lot of people were saying Cuphead, but like, Cuphead isn't an action game. Like, that's not the award it should win. No, that's not the award it should win. I mean, I guess yes, it is an action game, but at the same time, it really isn't. Like, it's more of a platform, and I know there's not a platform game award, but still, like, it's not really a game to win for action game. And honestly, I thought between Wolfenstein 2 and Destiny 2, and I'm really happy that Wolfenstein 2 won. I'm so happy they won. Because I was kind of rooting for it too. I wanted Bethesda to have another game on their list, especially Machine Games. Prey, it was not big enough. It was not good enough to win. Like, it was good for a second, and then it wasn't. Action adventure game? I'm surprised again. Like, I think also it's competing with the same games again. Like Zelda, Mario, and Horizon Zero Dawn again in the exact same categories. Like there's only one game that's going to win that. You know, it's always going to be the same game because the same people are voting for them. Of course, they're going to vote for their favorite game, and if three of them are, you know, the same categories, that's an easy decision. I still think that Assassin's Creed Origin should have won, but again, Assassin's Creed Origin was kind of released a little bit late. There wasn't much ground for it because it was so late to the game. People didn't even know what the heck. I mean, people haven't even had the opportunity to play Assassin's Creed Origins. I haven't even had the opportunity to play Assassin's Creed Origins yet. Uncharted? I forgot about Uncharted The Lost Legacy. To be completely honest, I completely forgot about it. So, yeah. I completely forgot it was a thing. Best role-playing game? I think I even said it was going to be between Persona 5 and Final Fantasy. I really thought that Final Fantasy had a bigger name. But again, I don't think it... I think I was really just going for what name was bigger. Because I could have sworn Final Fantasy 15 was a little bit more confident. But Persona 5 did also get a lot of ground. Honestly, none of these RPGs were my thing. I didn't really want any of them to win. Maybe. I think I voted for Fractured Butthole. But yeah, Persona 5 won. Yeah. I think next year is going to be a very competitive year. There's a lot of games being released in 2018. There's Red Dead Redemption 2 that's coming out in 2018. I know for a fact. I don't actually know how many games are being released, but I feel like 2018 is probably gonna be a big year. Best fighting game? Like, it wasn't really a competition. Like, hands down, Injustice 2 all the way. Best family game? I guess Odyssey was kind of obvious. I kind of wish that Mario Kart won because, I mean, it's Mario Kart. But it is good that Odyssey won something. Like, honestly, is that really its only award, though? That is its only award. Wow. Like, Odyssey really suffered. I mean, when it's competing against itself, of course it can win. Like, it's competing against, like, two other Marios and a Sonic. So, yeah, that one was kind of obvious. Strategy game? I didn't even know that was a strategy. Whatever. I kind of wanted Halo 2 and Wars 2 to win. But I can see why Rabbids won. I can see that. Forza Motorsports, again, like, if it's going to be between like racing and sports, it's going to be FIFA or Forza. Like, the other games aren't big enough. Like, if a racing game is going to win, it's more likely to be Forza than anything else. It has a bigger name. It has the better cars. It has a lot of good stuff. Honestly, I don't even know what the heck Project Cars 2 is. I didn't even know that was a thing until the nominations were. Like, what the heck is that? GT Sport, again, I don't really know what that is. NBA 2018? Okay. FIFA, I feel like FIFA or Forza were going to win. Konami was never going to win. Not after last year. They were never going to win. I'm sure Jeff Knightley would have refused to let them win. Not after last year. I think it was last year, right? Yeah. Best multiplayer game, that was the game that PUBG would have won. Yeah, that was the game that PUBG was going to win. Again, World War II was released too late. Not enough people were able to play it before the nominees were voted on. Like, it was like released like last week or something like that. So yeah, there's no way I was gonna win. Last of Us Part 2, not a surprise to be honest. I really hoped that Red Dead would win because I really love that game. But Last of Us Part 2 had a very good chance. It had a very good chance of winning. Best independent game. Again, Cuphead has the bigger name because it was distributed by Microsoft. It was made by an independent game developer, obviously, but it was distributed by Microsoft. Like Microsoft helped them, I should say. They used a lot of like Microsoft tools and all that to make Cuphead. Best student game? Yeah, that's weird. I don't even know. Trending gamer? I mean, of course, Dr. Disrespect is going to win. Of course, all of his highlights, all the fact that he just has a bigger name than everyone else that he's competing with. Yeah, there is no way, there was like no competition there for Dr. Disrespect. Esports game. I mean, come on. There's literally nothing new. Rocket League was never going to win, even though I wanted it to. Maybe next year. But it's always the same games that compete. Like, whatever. Esports, I don't really care about. Faker, I guessed. Again, I guessed right. Okay. Cloud9 won that. I don't know. I have no idea. Actually, I think esports team was just between the jury, anyways. The people who, yeah. Debut in a game, of course, Cuphead was going to win. I was kind of hoping another game would win, like Hollow Knight, but I can see why it won. JX3, I have no idea what that is. So, there we go. There we go. Okay, so now I actually want to go and listen to that concert that they played. Video Game Awards. Let's see. Let's see. Um. I want to go back and listen to that music. That opening was amazing. I loved it. I loved it so much. It was so amazing. Oh yeah, I think it was this one. Just listen to this. Da, da, da. Oh my gosh, this is so amazing. Yeah. This made me so happy. This performance made me happy. Made me so happy to listen to it. Also, side note, can I just like quickly say how beautiful a lot of these like people look? Like, look at those like violinists. Like, Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat. Like there's a lot of good looking people in that orchestra. I'm just throwing that out there. Oh man, I need to listen to that again. I want to listen to it again, I'm sorry. How many of you guys can name the songs? How many of the songs can you guys name that they play? A lot of these I've actually just like heard, but I don't necessarily know where they're from. So that's where I am. Like a lot of these songs are very familiar, but I just don't always know where they're from. Like this one, I know this music. I just don't know exactly where it's from. Don't remember. Like a lot of these sound familiar. I just don't know where they're from. Wait, I wonder if it says it in there. I'm sure it says it, right? No, it doesn't actually. Oh, some of this from Witcher 3. Oh, okay. da 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 da. Like, oh my gosh, it's Elder Scrolls music, and they're not even nominated. Skyrim never dies. That's not even Skyrim music though. Not really. Wait, hang on. Let's go back. What? That's actually really Morrowind music. Like, if you think about it. I mean, it's both. They're all the same. But, yeah, that's Morrowind. That is not Skyrim. That's Morrowind music. It's kind of a mixture of both. Mortal Kombat! Oh, so good. I need to listen to it again, man. not all of it, just like a portion of it. Like this part. Let's actually listen. I want to see if it... I think it is the Morrowind theme song, but let me just double check real quick. And I mean, it could be both. It's probably both. I mean, this part... The Elder Scrolls themes are generally the same. Maybe it was Oblivion, though. I don't know. Like, they all sound the same, though. Yeah, see, this is why I think it's from Morrowind. Maybe it's both. I don't know. Let me listen to this. No, it's not Oblivion. I mean, maybe it's from Skyrim. I don't think it is. Cause it's... Maybe it's both. It's both. Maybe it's from Elder Scrolls Online, though. Maybe. Doesn't even have me. Oh, just kidding. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I think it is from Morrowind. I think it was from Morrowind. I think most of it's inspired from Morrowind though. Like this sounds like what they played. Because otherwise they would have had like a full chorus, choir or something if it was Skyrim. Yeah, that's totally Morrowind. That is definitely Morrowind. Yeah, that's definitely Morrowind. Yeah, now I'm that's for sure. Yeah. Yeah, that's totally Morrowind. At first, I thought maybe it's Skyrim. No, it has to be Morrowind. Right? It has to be Morrowind. Like, there's no two ways about it. Anyways, that's not important anymore. Yeah. Cause like, listen. There's also Witcher 3 in that. There's also the Witcher 3 theme. This one. No, not there. I think. I wonder if I can actually see the game award 2017 music console. I want to see like the full list of what those songs were. Not the winners. I just want to see who played in or what songs they used and what exact songs they used in the show. Like, I'm actually surprised they doesn't seem to have credits towards it. There actually doesn't seem to be a list. The Game Awards Orchestra Music. what songs they played. Huh. There doesn't seem to be a place to find it though. What songs were played? I'm surprised there was like no credits at all. Where are they? What happened? Yeah, it does. There's no list, which I'm really surprised at. Why wouldn't they have the actual songs that they used? Because that's definitely for Morrowind. Like, what happened? Where's the credit? Whatever. Uh, hmm. Also, can I just say how the Game Award looks just like an Oscar? Just the one has wings. It's pretty much an Oscar. It's the Game Award version of the Oscars. Yeah. Anyways, I'm going to disappear because I want to play Sims 4. Cats and dogs.